Welcome back to Movie House. I'm your host David, and with me as always is my co-host Connor.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch, old witch, Thatcher's dead. Ding dong, Margaret Thatcher's dead. That's right, it's me, Connor.
That's you.
I'm here again.
Yes, again. Shackled to this spot.
Leached for my knowledge of film.
That's the one. Well, it's definitely not my knowledge. Today, we're going to be talking about the 1939 The Wizard of Oz.
That's right, David. Technically directed by Victor Fleming, who also did Gone with the Wind.
Yep.
There were really 5 separate directors worked on this film.
Oh, wow. I'm sure you will tell me more about this in the...
I can tell you about it now if you want.
Well,
Let's just get this out of the way.
Okay, so...
Norman Taurog directed the pre-production and early technicolor tests. Richard Thorpe directed for 2 weeks. George Cukor filled in for 3 days and made a lot of creative changes, such as Dorothy's look and all that.
Right, yeah.
Victor Fleming came on board for 4 months, but left to go and make Gone with the Wind. And then King Vidor directed the final 10 days, including the tornado sequence and the scene where Judy Garland sings Over the Rainbow.
Alright, so some of the more famous parts.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone had a hand.
Yeah.
We'll get more into this when I bring up a new segment, David.
Oof.
I have a new segment called
You and your
for
segments.
you. Me and my segments. This one's a one-off segment again. It's called The Horrors of Oz.
Ooh, The Horrors of Oz. Okay. I don't know about you, Connor, but there must be something wrong with my eyes. I'm only seeing like in shades of brown. It's not actually...
What do you mean, sepia tone?
Yeah, it's not black and white, but it's also not colour. What's going on here? Explain to me what is going on here. Give me a recap of what's going on.
Nice try. Let's open that door and step out into the wonderful technicolor land of Movie House.
I'm sure, like everyone else, we're waiting for Kansas, but not quite.
No,
Good,
Kansas is sepia tone. Oz is technical.
Oh,
Dorothy Gale is a young girl who lives in Kansas with her dog Toto and a bunch of other characters. And then one day, you know what happens.
Mm-hmm.
She gets swept up by a tornado, tossed into the technicolor land of Oz,
Mm-hmm.
goes along the yellow brick road, meets a scarecrow, a tin man, a lion. They go to Oz, they kill a witch. The end.
Another witch.
Another witch, they kill 2 witches, the end.
Yeah.
And also, Ariana Grande is there.
Well, her character.
Listen, I don't really need to recap The Wizard of Oz. It is probably it's in the top 5 most famous films of all time, easily.
If you haven't seen it by now,
You know it already.
then...
If you haven't seen this, you've seen Wicked or Return to Oz or a cartoon, or you're aware
or
of the characters.
whatever his name is, Incredible Oz or whatever he is.
James Franco,
Yeah.
rest in peace. Or you've seen Zooey Deschanel's television movie Tin Man.
Oh, yeah. God.
You've seen something. You know what the story of Wizard of Oz is.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to classify as a recap.
Good. I'm glad.
So David, recap finished.
Very good.
I hate this fucking little bit of fucking plastic that I can't get rid of. It's always fucking poking me. It's always ruining my goddamn flow, my mojo, my podcast energy. What did you think of The Wizard of Oz?
Try the line without muffled fury in it, please.
David, tell me your thoughts on The Wizard of Oz.
I thought it was a very memorable movie from when I was a kid. I watched it quite a bit as a child.
So did I.
Did not watch it until today for about the last 18 or 20 years.
Oh, Jesus. The last time I saw this film, I had a similar large gap during my teenage years, but the last time I saw it would have been in 2022. So only 2 years ago.
Hooray, a lot sooner than me.
Aye.
Not even a 2010.
We're talking
correct.
You were in the cinema in 1939 and you went, wow.
Isn't this something?
I can't believe colour
Exists.
You stepped out of the cinema like Dorothy stepping out of
Oz and back into the real world. The bland.
No, like stepping out of Kansas and back into Oz. The fuck are you talking about? Did you not watch the film?
No, I didn't. It was a really good movie. I thought that there was a lot more. When you go to the theater and it's like it's a specific thing. You're going to see a show, but it's involving the audience. Kind of, what's that called?
Pantomime.
Pantomime. There was a lot more pantomime-y sort of acting going on than I remember as a kid.
I don't know if that's specific to the film or just indicative of a lot of movies at the time.
I think the era is definitely, it's indicative of 1939.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a technical marvel as well. To put this in a frame of reference, Boris Karloff's Frankenstein and Bela Lugosi's Dracula films. You think about those black and white, big sets, all that? Same kind of like a curtain at the back with a painting on it as your set.
Yeah.
That's only 8 years before this film came out. They both came out in 1931.
Wow. Yeah, it's close.
Yeah, we're only just coming off the world of silent film.
Yeah.
I also had this on VHS growing up. I had a special edition which had a puzzle. A puzzle of the poster came in the box.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice. I remember the monkeys attacking Oz as more of a longer sequence. Or not attacking Oz, but attacking
Dorothy
and
gang.
The gang. But that might be also my childhood mixing up maybe a sequel or another one or something.
Have you seen Return to Oz and Oz the Great and Powerful and all the other Oz movies that are out?
I have not seen the James Franco.
Okay, I know you've seen the Zooey Deschanel.
I have, the Tin Man. Yeah.
I have never seen another Oz movie. I've only ever seen the original 1939 film that we're talking about today.
Oh, right.
It's me slipping into my Cowardly Lion impersonation again. Put him up.
I have definitely seen Return to Oz.
With Fairuza Balk, who's in The Craft.
Yes, yeah.
And all the guys with wheels on their hands or whatever.
Yes, aye.
I've seen it on Watch Mojo's top 10 films that traumatized you in your childhood if you were a child in the 80s, but I haven't seen the actual film.
Right. I think it was one of those situations where there was nothing to watch and it happened to be on TV halfway through already or something.
I miss
multiple times over.
Yeah, I miss doing that. Or there'd be films that were always on TV. And you never saw it from beginning to end, but you saw enough pieces over the years that you kind of put it together.
Yeah, you constructed the film in your head after many a year.
Yeah, 5 years ago I saw the first 15 minutes, now I'm seeing the last half an hour.
Yeah.
Someday I'll catch the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I miss that too. I miss that kind of thing.
No, I miss it in concept, but I'm never going back to it. They still show films on TV. Let's talk about the Wizard of Oz. Why are we so sidetracked already?
I don't know. The oldie days because of the 1939 thing, I think.
Yeah, we're thinking about our childhood. Mine in the 50s.
And mine in the 40s, apparently.
That's the one.
The war was a rough one.
No, for me it wasn't.
No.
Oh, maybe Korea.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that war.
And then Vietnam.
We just talk about the war.
The war.
Yeah.
The war for my sanity.
Yep. That's today. And every other day we're doing a podcast.
I'll tell you what I took away from this viewing of The Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
Glinda sucks. You knew the entire time that Dorothy could have been sent home, but you used her as a pawn in your political interwitchery nonsense.
Yep.
You put those ruby slippers on her, knowing it was going to put her in danger.
Mm-hmm.
You sprinkled snow on her to wake her up, I guess. But other than that, you didn't help her at all. And we'll get back to that snow in a minute in my segment, The Horrors of Oz.
Okay.
You're horrible.
Yeah.
You're a wicked witch.
You are.
And
in disguise.
And you're ugly. Which is one of the qualifiers of being a wicked witch, apparently.
Yeah, apparently
you have
so.
green skin and you're not played by Margaret Hamilton, but you're still wicked.
Yeah.
Wicked in cinemas now. And now you're played by Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
And you still suck.
Yeah.
Awful, terrible character. I don't like her.
Yeah.
She puts a child in danger. And then sends... She's like, yeah, you'll have to walk the yellow brick road to Oz. You fly in a bubble.
Mm-hmm.
You put her in a bubble and send her to Oz.
Yeah. Also, you're knowingly sending her to a guy who is not a wizard.
Yeah, does she know that he's not a wizard? That he's
There's no way she doesn't.
He's a snake oil salesman conman type?
Yeah. There's no way she does not know that.
Right, and then she rocks up at the end and she's like, oh, if you clack your heels together, you'll go on home.
Yeah.
So she could have done that at any point.
Yeah.
Your logic about, I didn't tell her because she had to figure it out for herself. She didn't figure it out for herself.
She didn't figure it out.
You told her at the end of the film after she'd killed the other witch.
Yeah, so now there's only potentially one other witch to challenge your power.
The witch
Oz.
of the South who we never see.
Correct. Yeah.
What do you think she's like?
The theory, I think, or the general assumption is the fact that the East and the West are evil and the North and the South are nice witches. Based off of the fact that you've got the East and the West witches being evil displayed in the film.
Both played by Margaret Hamilton.
Yeah.
Identical almost.
Well, they are sisters, supposedly.
Are they both in Wicked? I don't know anything about Wicked. I haven't seen the musical.
Absolutely no idea. I have also not seen the musical.
I won't be seeing the film.
And neither will I. The most I've seen of it is an advert for it on...
I have also seen an advert for it and I thought it looked cringe.
Same here.
And I've seen the interviews for it, some of the clips online, and they look very cringe as well.
I haven't seen any of the interview clips, but I discovered, despite the fact that you probably told me before, I just thought you might have been joking about Ariana Grande being in it. No, I discovered she was in it when I saw the trailer.
I kept talking about how Ariana Grande is Glinda, and you were like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Fuck are you on about? I was like, some fucking Ariana Grande look-alike, apparently.
No, that's the
actually
real deal.
her painted white. Or not tanned, I guess. Something.
Chameleon. She's a real chameleon, that woman.
She spent a few weeks not going to the tan beds, probably.
Fuck it. I haven't seen anything Ariana Grande's done since Victorious.
Oh, well, then she'll look a similar colour.
She was a Latina when I last saw her, but I know that she's been black and Asian.
Oh, she's been everything.
And she was blonde and white at one point, right? When she dated Pete Davidson. I saw her.
She's blonde and white again for Wicked, I believe.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, so, yeah, she's a horrible character. And she seems, in my opinion, she's worse than the other witches, the evil, the wicked witches of the East and West.
And she's worse than Oz.
Yeah, because Oz is realistically, let's face it, he's kind of just lying because he fell into the role kind of thing. He
landed in a strange world with a modicum of technology and was like, I better establish myself here.
Yeah. And arguably speaking, is just teaching people life lessons more than anything else.
Oh, well, it seems like most people don't get to see the wizard.
Yeah, not anymore. Although it does seem like they used to be able to see him.
Yeah, what's going on
because
now?
everyone wants to see him, and everyone seems like it's a normal thing to see him, even in the Emerald City. And then they get reminded, oh, actually, you don't see him anymore. So it seems like it's a case of he's becoming a bit more of a recluse now.
Maybe it's getting to him. You know, I don't know if you picked up on this. We didn't talk when we were watching the movie.
No, we did not.
The guy who answers the door.
Yes.
The guy who drives the carriage.
Yes.
And the guardsman who lets them in are all also the Wizard of Oz.
Yes. Again, that's a very sort of pantomime thing where you've got a lot of a very small number of actors playing a very large range of people.
I think it's intentional though. That's like
I think it is.
He's not just. It's not the actor playing different characters. It's the wizard in different hats and mustaches.
Probably is. Yes.
He kind of tries to delay them before they get there.
Yeah.
You don't need to get in a horse and carriage and get pulled to a spa. It's 10 feet.
Yeah, it really is. It's not far. Just enough time to change the horse colour 4 times.
Another thing we'll get into later on. Let me tell you, I'm looking forward to my
Trivia?
to trivia and also to my new segment.
Oh, the horrors.
The horrors.
Yeah.
The horrors of Oz.
It does sound like it will be a very good one. A very good segment.
The horror. Let's do that now.
Okay, yeah, let's go for it. Let's jump straight in. Horrors of Oz.
The horrors of Oz. Margaret Hamilton, who played the witch, both witches, and also the woman on the bike, whatever her name is.
Yeah, I've forgotten her name, but yeah.
She was badly burned while filming this movie.
She was badly burned.
You know the scene where she leaves the Munchkin village?
Yeah.
And there's the red smoke, and she goes into the trap door, obviously, where the red smoke comes out, and then there's a massive burst of fire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, turns out, first of all, the paint that was used to make her green was a powdered copper.
Wait, what? It was what?
It was powdered copper.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, not only was it so toxic that she couldn't risk eating or drinking except through a straw while she had the makeup on, it meant that she was incredibly flammable. In the scene in the Munchkin village where she disappears in a cloud of red smoke and there's a giant bloom of fire,
Yeah.
the pyrotechnics team activated the fires too early. And Hamilton ended up being hospitalised with 2nd and 3rd degree burns all over her hands and face.
Ooh, fucking hell.
She had to leave production for 6 weeks.
Jesus.
It also meant that when she was suffering from 2nd and 3rd degree burns, she was covered in this copper-coloured, highly flammable, toxic paint at the same time. So the paramedics had to try and remove that paint from her burned skin with some sort of acid. Horrible.
Bloody hell.
There was also another stunt involving the witch that Margaret Hamilton refused to do because it was after she'd already been burned. You know where the witch is riding the broomstick and there's smoke coming out of it to write in the sky? A stunt double was doing that on the broom, and it exploded.
Fucking hell.
That's not the half of it.
Yeah.
So obviously, the Tin Man was played by Jack Haley, but originally a different actor was cast to play the role. A Buddy Ebsen.
I had heard about this before. I don't know why. I just knew it was cast as someone else initially.
Yeah, so Buddy Ebsen, he was originally cast as the Scarecrow. And then Ray Bolger, who played the Tin Man, wanted to swap. So they had to swap roles.
Right, okay.
MGM tested a bunch of different types of makeup to make him look silvery. They tried like cloth-covered cardboard, tin silver paper, and eventually they coated him in aluminum dust. 9 days into filming, Ebsen started to experience shortness of breath and cramping. He was hospitalised for 2 weeks, during which he was replaced.
Okay.
As it turns out, the aluminum dust is toxic.
Oh, yeah.
During his time in the hospital, Ebsen had to sit under an oxygen tent in order to breathe. When this happened, they swapped the makeup out for an aluminum paste instead of a powder that apparently worked better.
Alright.
Jack Haley developed like an infection in his eye from the paste, but other than that, he was alright.
Nice.
Alright, David, here's 2 quick-fire horrors.
Okay.
You know that scene, the scene where Judy Garland and the other members of the gang fall asleep in the red poppy fields? And Glinda makes it snow so they'll wake up?
Yep.
What do you think they used for snow?
Oh, something fucking toxic at this rate.
Asbestos.
Oh, asbestos.
just spread asbestos all over the set, all over the actors. And you see that famous shot where Judy Garland's lying covered in snow. She's just lying in asbestos.
Aye.
I don't know if this is quite a horror, but you know the Cowardly Lion? His costume is made from a lion.
Oh. Like...
That mane that's a lion's mane. Killed a lion.
Nice. That was...
Aye.
What's a lion's life when you're ready to, like, sacrifice the stars of the fucking show with aluminium dust and fucking copper dust and shit as paint, body paint, essentially.
Aye.
So, yeah. What's a lion to them at this point?
And then obviously there's all the stuff with Judy Garland getting hooked on cigarettes and amphetamines and getting slapped by the director for laughing during a take and
yeah. Eey.
I think that's all the horrors I can handle for now.
Yeah, it's definitely all the horrors I can handle.
But David, I've got one more horror for you.
Oh, of course. Alright. Let's go for it.
Lure you into saying I had to lure you into saying you didn't want any more horrors, so I could be like, but wait.
Of course you did.
This is a fake horror. This is not a real horror.
Oh, okay. Thank Christ.
It's long been argued or disputed that there was a munchkin who hung themselves on the set.
Okay.
I pointed this out when we were watching the movie. It's the scene where Dorothy, the Scarecrow, and the Tin Man are skipping down the yellow brick road.
Yep.
And off in the distance by the trees, you can see something moving. Except we watched the film on 4K ultra high definition, and it's pretty obvious that it's just a bird flapping around.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
I could understand maybe if you saw the film on TV and back in the day or on VHS, you'd think it was something.
Yeah.
Something, but one, why would there be a munchkin hanging around the set when they're filming that stuff?
I don't know, because they're not even in Munchkin Land, whatever that bit was called.
All the munchkin stuff is very contained, you know? And secondly, you think those prop trees are strong enough to hang yourself from? Paper mache.
No, they are not.
Oh, sorry, they're asbestos.
Oh, of course.
Carved asbestos, probably. Painted in copper, fucking
Probably.
aluminium, toxic paint.
Aye, and
Lead paint or something.
fucking dripping with lead paint and just oozing out carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide at this point, probably.
Aye.
Fuck it.
Deadly.
So you wouldn't be hanging, you'd be lying on the ground before you even got the noose up.
Foaming at the mouth, maybe. There's actually, this has gone as far as to where people have made edits of a munchkin hanging in that tree to try and convince people that it's real, to spread it online.
Of course. Of course they have.
Aye, but it's not.
No.
I think that's a nice note to end the horrors on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a nicer note. There wasn't a munchkin hanging.
No one hung themselves.
No. They were just, multiple attempted murders by the crew.
Aye, by the producers and that. The higher ups at MGM.
Yeah.
Christ, David, that was some horrors, eh?
Yeah. That was something to behold.
Do you want to talk a bit more about the movie The Wizard of Oz?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Do you want to talk a bit more about the movie The Wizard of Oz?
Let's. Yes.
David, would you like... David, would you like to talk a bit more about the movie The Wizard of Oz?
I would indeed.
What do you have to say? For yourself.
Shit, I dug myself in a hole.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
That Judy Garland, talk about talented.
She is quite a talent, yeah.
Genuinely incredible in this film.
Mm-hmm.
She's also been in a lot of other movies, one of which we were going to cover when Movie House was originally a different podcast in which we were just going to cover the films of James Stewart.
Yeah.
I believe she did one with him.
She did, I think.
We were going to cover, but maybe we'll cover it in a Christmas or two.
Yeah.
Every Christmas we cover a James Stewart film now. It's the tradition. So
Yeah.
at some point we'll come back and we'll cover that one. But I'd actually quite like to dive into more of her filmography.
Yeah.
All I've really seen of her is this. If anything, I've seen more of Liza Minnelli, who's her daughter.
Yeah, I think that would be true for me as well. I think I've only really seen it. I think I've seen her in something else. I just can't put my finger on what.
There's a really great performance. Obviously, she kept performing for most of her life, and there's a great video you can find on YouTube. I'd love to edit it in, but we get copyright struck immediately.
Of course.
It's a stage performance from right at the end of Judy Garland's life. I want to say it's the last time she ever performed on stage.
Right.
And the last song that she sings is Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Ah, right. I think I might have actually seen this as well.
I think I've shown you this before, but it's very moving and
very, very nice and very sad as well, I think.
Yeah,
because of the fact that it's right at the end of her career in life.
So it's like very poorly in terms of her health and very heartbreaking, and also a sharp contrast to how she sounds singing the same song in this film, which is also the first time.
Yeah.
The first recorded time that she'd sang it anyway. I'm sure
Yeah,
she sang it in auditions and rehearsals and such.
Yeah, that's the one I was looking for.
Yeah. I think there is something magical about her performance in this. I don't know what it is that like spellbinds audiences to the point where there's been constant attempts to replicate not just other versions of Dorothy, but that character trope.
Yeah.
Again with different actors, and it's never
quite worked.
Never like got there. Actually, you know what? I think the closest that anyone's got, and David, what I'm about to say might shock you.
Okay.
Is Joaquin Phoenix in the movie Joker.
Oh,
no, I'm fucking with you. It's it's Mark Hamill in Star Wars.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Farm boy and girl.
Yeah.
With, a sense of wonder in their eyes, and they want to go off and do bigger things, and then they get whisked off. Done this magical adventure by an old wizard man.
Yeah.
And there's an evil witch / Sith. There's Darth Vader as a wizard of the Wicked.
The Wicked Witch of the West.
That's the ticket.
Yeah.
The witch's ticket. There's, Chewbacca's the Cowardly Lion, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
C-3PO's the Tin Man.
Yeah.
Someone's the Scarecrow, I don't know, R2-D2. Lando, who gives a shit? You get the general idea.
Yeah.
It's Star Wars is essentially the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
In so much as it takes a few bits of inspiration. But what I'm saying is...
the magical sort of the performance.
Yeah, that genuine wonder and excitement. And what's the word I'm looking for here? You know what I mean, though, the kind of... You know what I mean? They're kind of wet behind the ears, kind of can't wait to get out there and see the world. And
aye.
Whatever the phrase is. But that's the only other time I can think of that an actor's, and that's 1977, David.
Quite a number of years later.
That's after Judy Garland had passed away.
Yeah.
So, David, do you have any strong thoughts or opinions on Dorothy's life in Kansas?
I think that knowing the film, despite the fact that it had been, I think it was a little under or a little over 20 years since I'd seen it, I still obviously knew the general premise of the film. Knowing that and knowing the tropes that are coming up, you see a lot of the characters, obviously the actors that are in the world of Kansas are the actors that are playing in characters in the world of Oz.
Yeah.
Obviously. Like everyone knows this. But you actually see all the tropes of those people in Kansas during your short stint in Kansas. So obviously you've got the Wicked Witch of the West, played by, what was her, Hamilton something?
Margaret Hamilton.
Margaret Hamilton, that's it. Played by Margaret Hamilton.
She's also there. She's the woman on the bicycle, right?
Yeah, she's the woman on the bicycle. And you see her, it's obviously supposed to be her because she turns into the Wicked Witch of the East while she's cycling in the air in the tornado.
They even play her theme music.
Yes,
they play
the
which is riding on the bike. Here's a fun bit for you, David.
Okay, yeah.
We covered Terrifier on this show.
Yes.
Movie House. Several weeks ago, on Halloween. In the movie Terrifier 2, there is a scene in which Art the Clown is riding a broom or on a bike or something, flying through the air, and they play that bit of music.
All right, nice.
So there you go.
That's cool.
Aye.
Nice little connection.
It's all connected, all the films we're talking about.
We'll find a way.
Besides Joker.
Yeah.
It isn't connected to anything.
Old wacky over there. He's connected to Gladiator.
Oh, shit, true. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Ruined that one for you.
I guess Beetlejuice isn't connected to anything.
He's green-haired? Like the Joker? I don't know if I want to put any more comparisons to that.
He's wearing black and white like Art the Clown.
Yeah.
We did have a 3-week run where we did weird characters.
We did.
What were you saying about Kansas?
Anyway, Kansas. So obviously she is the one that really hates Toto, the dog.
Yeah.
And she tries to legally take Toto away with an order from the sheriff because she got bit. Or she claims she got bit. Obviously, as the Wicked Witch of the West, she's supposed to be, a very powerful being, a very powerful witch, who's also very evil.
Yeah.
And in this, she's acting very evilly in Kansas. And she's also, it's pointed out, she's a very wealthy, powerful woman.
Yeah.
So she's very powerful and evil. You've got the guy that becomes the not very smart straw man, the scarecrow.
Yeah.
Who's brainless.
The scarecrow without a brain.
Yeah, the scarecrow without a brain.
Yeah.
He is constantly hitting himself with a hammer while he's trying to nail things together.
Right, yeah, so he is.
He's an idiot in the real world of Kansas. You've got the Cowardly Lion character. When he's acting all big and telling everyone what to do, and then as soon as the mother comes along, the farm owner comes along, she's like, "Oi!" and he craps himself and darts to the side of the screen, like out of fear.
He's cowardly.
He's cowardly, yeah. And the other guy seems to be the least heartfelt towards Dorothy's concerns and just generally otherwise. And at one point he's sitting there like clutching on his heart and stuff as well, like he's having a heart attack.
Here's my question, right?
And that's Tin Man.
Yeah, I got that. Here's my question, right? Let's assume that the time that Dorothy spent in Oz was a dream. For argument's sake, for this.
Or a coma.
Something. It was in her brain.
Yeah.
None of those people learned anything.
No.
Nothing's going to change in Kansas. You've got me doing it now. Those are Kansas and fucking click your heels and go back to Oz.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one's going to change. Nothing's happened. Nothing's been going on.
Nope. All that's happened is everyone bar Dorothy was in a storm shelter.
Yeah. And the alternative is what? That there's a different reality where things are, which would also mean that Dorothy's not just in a time where things are in sepia tone. She lives in sepia tone.
Yeah.
Imagine living in sepia tone.
Yeah, it would be weird.
Dear God. Well, David, it's time for...
Yeah.
It's time for the Wizard of Trivia.
That's the one. Perfect.
That's me riding on my bicycle.
Of course.
To get to the trivia.
Down a yellow brick road.
Yes.
Sure.
Down a sepia tone brick road.
Ooh. I'm excited, can you tell?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
first bit of trivia, David. Not really a piece of trivia.
Okay.
But tin doesn't rust.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why is the Tin Man all rusty?
You've got a point. Yeah, he's rusting solid on a regular basis. And they keep going on and on about him rusting, but he's the Tin Man.
Yeah.
Presumably it's just because he looks like he could be made out of tin. And she does jump to a conclusion. She never asks him what he's made out of.
True, but he doesn't correct her either.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe he doesn't know what he's made out of.
Is the Tin Man tin? And if so, does he ever say that he's tin? I put this forward to you, the listener, to go and figure that out.
Aye. Also, slightly in addendum to that, I guess, he's not really the Tin Man. He's the aluminium man, because he's covered in aluminium dust and then paste.
So he is. And then he's in an iron lung.
Yeah.
He's Iron Man.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
The Scarecrow, when he gets his brain from the wizard at the end of the film, says the sum of the square roots of any two sides of an isosceles triangle is equal to the square root of the remaining side. This is a misstatement of the Pythagorean theorem, which is in fact about right-angled triangles and not isosceles triangles.
Yeah.
However, this statement, as it is said, is actually not true about any triangle, and so is completely wrong.
Yeah, I think at one point in time, whilst at school, one of the times that I watched this, I had actually not long ago learned the Pythagorean theorem, and I was like, this is incorrect.
Maybe it's intentional to show that the wizard is full of shit.
Maybe it is, because he did just hand him a diploma. He never gave him he never actually gave him a brain. He just gave him a diploma.
He never gave the lion any courage either. He just handed him a medal which said courage.
Yep. And never gave the Tin Man a heart. He just gave him a clock that ticks in the shape of a heart.
Yeah. Snake oil salesman.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly what it was in Kansas, basically.
Aye. Here's an interesting one for you.
Mm-hmm.
When the wardrobe department wanted to get a coat for Frank Morgan's Professor Marvel character, that's the guy that plays the wizard's character in the real Kansas sepia tone world, they wanted one that looked like it had once been elegant but had kind of worn away.
Okay.
They went to a second-hand store and purchased an entire rack of coats, from which Morgan, the head of the wardrobe department, and then director Victor Fleming chose one.
All right. Okay.
One day on set, Morgan turned out the pockets and found a label indicating that this coat had been made for L. Frank Baum, the writer of the Wizard of Oz books.
What?
They contacted the tailor and Baum's widow, and they both verified that yes, it had in fact at one point been owned by the author.
All right.
After filming was finished, what are the chances, right?
Yeah, I know.
After filming was finished, the coat was presented to his widow.
Well, that was nice. At least they didn't, I don't know, burn it in a Warner Bros. Fucking warehouse somewhere.
MGM.
Hi. You know what I mean.
Margaret Hamilton, who plays the witch, was a lifelong fan of the Oz books.
Probably the only reason she came back after she got lit on fire.
Aye, probably. When she phoned her agent to find out what role she was up for, her agent simply replied, "The witch. Who else?"
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough, I suppose. She's not a very short person. She's also not young enough to be Dorothy, by a long way. And, I mean, she's not like a supermodel, so, you know, I mean, she shouldn't really be playing the good witch, who's supposed to look very pretty and all that kind of stuff.
She was 37 at time of filming, I think, or thereabouts.
Yeah.
But that's 37 in the 1930s.
Yeah, I know, which is like 90 now. with all the preservatives we're eating.
Oh, I'm gonna live forever. I'm all plastic. I'm so full of preservatives. I'm eating macroplastics.
Oof. You're telling me that you are exclusively living off of Legos.
That's right.
Good.
Building bricks in my intestines.
Good.
The iconic Ruby slippers are now at Smithsonian Institute's National Museum of American History.
Okay.
The attraction is so popular that the carpet in front of the slippers has to be replaced numerous times a year due to wear.
That's quite a lot.
What else are you going to go and see at the Smithsonian?
Yeah, that's fair.
And they have one of the original Darth Vader costumes.
Nice. They probably have to replace the carpet in front of that too.
And the glass when I visit, because I'm spunking on it. The horses in Emerald City were coloured with gelatin powder.
Mm-hmm.
The scenes had to be shot quickly before the horses licked it off. I like how the humans were covered in copper paint and aluminium dust.
Mm-hmm.
But just gelatin powder for the horses.
I knew about the gelatin part of it for the horses because
Aye.
I think at one point my gran or something had told me that during one of the times I was watching it. So that popped into my head when we were doing the Horrors of Oz, and I was just like, what? Why are you covering people in aluminium and copper powder and poisoning people? But the horses get... I mean, it's kind of not very nice anyway, because it's boiled animal hoof for the gelatin powder, let's face it.
Aye, yeah.
But it's not going to kill them.
Yeah. Over the Rainbow was nearly cut from the film. MGM felt that it made the Kansas sequence too long.
Well, I bet they'd be kicking themselves if they had. Yeah, that was like a massive hit in the... Not like chart hopper, but you know what I mean? It was a massive selling point for the film, was that song.
It was actually supposed to be reprised at one point in the film. They shot a scene where Dorothy sings it to remember Kansas while she's imprisoned in the witch's castle. Apparently,
right.
Judy Garland cried while she was singing it, and the crew were crying as well. It was so sad.
All right. Well, probably why they cut it, because they didn't want it to be too upsetting. I
think they cut a lot of Margaret Hamilton scenes as the witch, as well as a scene of bugs attacking the gang. And also when the skywriter, when the witch writes Surrender Dorothy, originally they also wrote Or Die.
Okay.
And that was cut.
Right. Again, that'll be because it was all like too scary or whatever for the child audience.
Aye.
That they were aiming for.
Tell those kids World War II is right around the corner.
Yeah.
Alright, David, it's time for our final bit of trivia.
Okay. Lay it on me.
In 1898, Dorothy Louise Gage was born to the brother and sister-in-law of Maud Gage Baum, wife of author L. Frank Baum.
Mm-hmm.
Dorothy died 5 months later. Baum was just finishing The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, and to comfort his wife, he named his heroine in the book after Dorothy, changing her last name to Gale.
Right. I had heard about the fact that there was a child that had died really young and that the Dorothy in the book was named after her. I didn't know like what stage of writing this was. I don't know if she was the inspiration for the story or what. Like, I didn't know any of that part. But I had heard about the fact that Dorothy was that kid that died was the namesake.
Yeah. Dorothy Gage was buried in Evergreen Memorial Cemetery in Bloomington, Illinois. Her grave was forgotten until 1996 when it was rediscovered.
Pretty hell.
Mickey Carroll, one of the last existing Munchkins from the film, learned of the discovery and was eager to replace her deteriorated grave marker with a new one created by his own monument company.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the new stone was dedicated in 1997, and the children's section of the cemetery was renamed the Dorothy L. Gage Memorial Garden.
That's nice.
Yeah, a lovely bit of trivia to go out on after that horror earlier on.
Yeah, exactly. Oof. But yeah, no, that's really nice, actually. Huh.
Well, David, I've got one last bit of trivia for us to go out on to bring it back down.
Brilliant.
And that's that the Munchkin actors on set were paid $50 per week for a 6-day work week.
Oof. Okay.
Toto the dog received $125 per week.
Mm-hmm. You reckon that's got something to do with the fact that weren't the Munchkins a troupe of like, was it the midget singers or something? Am I say? I think that might be right. Because there were a group of small people who were not actually. I don't think they actually sang in English. I think only 2 or 3 of them knew English. The rest are like foreign language speakers. But
they were called. You had the name right.
Oh, okay, nice. I think they were called that because of their manager was something singer. I think that was his name.
Leo Singer.
That was it. Okay.
The troupe came from Europe. Many of them were Jewish, and a number of them took advantage of the trip to stay in the US in order to escape the Nazis.
Makes sense, considering the war around the corner.
Aye. Professional singers dubbed most of their voices, as many of them couldn't speak English and or sing well.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, here we go. Only 2 are heard speaking with their real-life voices. The ones who give Dorothy flowers after she climbed into the carriage. Oh,
yeah. I did actually wonder when I was watching, because obviously I knew about this particular part of trivia, but I did actually look out for this when I was watching the film with you. And several of the Munchkins who have voices, but are not the ones that are being voiced by the actual people. They're obviously dubbed. They were obviously remixed at a different time, because they are the same person with a vastly different voice.
It's actually quite similar to what they ended up doing for the Oompa Loompas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I'll tell you what, David.
I really don't like the Munchkins, or their part of the film, or how long that part of the film is. Dorothy arrives in Oz, and it's like 8 different Munchkin musical numbers back to 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 back.
Yeah,
it's non-stop.
It is pretty intense.
In every song, besides the one that Dorothy and Glinda sing,
is like pitched right up in a bad way.
It's Alvin and the Chipmunk style.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I get what you're meaning. I get what you're saying there.
We represent the Lollipop Kid. You know?
It's also just like one line on repeat, and that is the entire fucking song.
Or one of the Munchkins will be like, "She's our hero," and another one will go, "Our hero she is?" Yeah, and it's just like the same fucking repeating the same lines back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
I hate them. I hate their plastic stuck-on haircuts. I hate their faux fucking little costumes. I hate the way they smell. I'm fucking racist for them. I hate the way, David, that the yellow brick road comes into Gumdrop Village or wherever the fuck they live and swirls into a pattern.
Yeah.
What kind of a road swirls into a pattern?
Why does no one ever mention the red brick road? Where's that go? What is that? Where's that going off to? Because that's part of the swirl.
Probably the Wicked Witch of the South.
Yeah, probably.
I have a theory, by the way.
Oh, okay. What's that?
A working theory.
Okay.
My working theory, David, is that all 4 of the witches are wicked.
Yeah.
We know that East and West are.
Yeah.
Who are dead.
Yes.
Glinda, we know...
we've discussed this.
We've
Glinda
discussed this, but I want to bring it up again.
Evil, yes.
It's been harping on my brain.
I'm aware.
I saw another trailer for the movie Wicked.
Oh, right, okay.
Less of a trailer, more of a clip. But I don't know if Wicked is essentially fan fiction.
Yeah.
for The Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
But if we take into account that it's canon, let's pretend.
Yeah.
Let's pretend that middle-aged woman turned into Ariana Grande with anorexia. And then back into back into herself.
And 7 shades too white a foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's pretend that she turned into one of the guys from White Chicks. For this Wicked movie.
Yeah.
There's a bullet train.
Mm-hmm.
In Wicked, there's a bullet train that goes from the fucking where the Munchkins are to
Emerald City?
Emerald City.
Yeah,
Thank you. There's a bullet train that goes to Emerald City.
Yeah, why'd you have to walk?
I think actually that might even be in Oz the Great and Powerful, the Sam Raimi James Franco movie.
Yeah.
I think I've seen images of that.
Right.
Am I the hit band Death Grips? Because I've seen pictures. Sorry, I've seen footage. That's the name of the song.
That's the one. That's the one.
Fucked it.
Yeah. She gets like a...
Who's this?
Dorothy gets carted around in a carriage at Emerald City.
Briefly. Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, for a grand total of 4 feet.
4 feet, and the horse changes colour once a foot.
Yeah. So there's the carriage there. There's a carriage at Munchkinland, whatever that bit is called.
Munchkin.
Is it Gumdrop Village?
No, I made that up.
Right, okay. It sounded like it could have been right.
Lollipop Guild is what they call it at one point, but I think that may be a faction.
Probably, yeah.
Also, so the Wicked Witch of the East, right, is the witch in charge of...
The Munchkin bit.
The Wicked Witch of the West is in charge of those little green people who look like her.
Yeah.
And flying monkeys.
Yeah.
Who coexist.
Lots of flying monkeys as well.
Yeah.
The Wicked Witch of the West seems a lot more powerful than the Wicked Witch of the East, her twin sister.
Yeah, we don't know what the Wicked Witch of the South does.
No, but the Wicked Witch of the North.
Yeah, let's just call her what she is.
Yeah.
A bitch.
She,
Cut that.
we,
Cut that.
we don't know what she really rules. Or if she even rules anything.
Does she rule Emerald City? Oh my god, I just remembered. I had a fun bit of trivia that I forgot to put in trivia.
Oh, okay.
This is going to blow your mind.
I'm sure it will.
I hope you're ready. This film is the first recording of a graphic tee.
What?
You know, a graphic t-shirt? A t-shirt with a graphic design on it?
Yeah.
The first historical recording of a graphic t-shirt ever existing is in this film in Emerald City. There's 2 guys with green t-shirts, and written on the t-shirts is Oz.
Oh, yeah.
That is the first graphic t-shirt. I'm wearing a graphic t-shirt right now.
You are indeed. You're always wearing one.
Aside from when I'm naked.
Yeah, well, then you've just got the tattoo that's on your chest.
Yes.
It's basically a graphic tee.
Actually, my head's backwards. It's on my back. It's my Yakuza tattoo.
It's of course.
Because I'm in the Yakuza. But it also says Oz.
Yeah, aye. Oz the Great and Powerful.
That's the one. I'm in the Yakuza, the faction that worships the 2013 James Franco film Oz the Great and Powerful.
I think you're saying it wrong, mate. It's the jacuzzi. You're in the jacuzzi.
What am I saying?
Worshipping. You're in the Yakuza. That's the Japanese fucking mafia.
I know what the Yakuza is. I've played Yakuza 0.
Yeah.
I've played Yakuza Kiwami.
You're in the jacuzzi.
I've played Yakuza Kiwami 2.
Pretending it's the hot air balloon.
I've played Yakuza
Oz is floating around in. I said you're in the jacuzzi, floating around, pretending you're in a hot air balloon floating around. That's what
James
you're doing.
Franco.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Tattooed to your back.
No, he's in there with me. Rest in peace. You know who else is in that movie?
I thought you were about to say you know who else is in that hot tub. I was like, I don't know, man.
It's the ghost of Judy Garland.
Fucking hell.
It's the ghost of Ray Bolger.
I don't know.
You know who else was in the film Oz the Great and Powerful?
Who?
Mila Kunis. R.I.P.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
She's
I've not seen it, so...
she's the second lead character.
Oh, well. It explains why I've not seen it. Well, not why, but you know what I mean. The fact that I've not seen it means I...
Maybe we'll do Oz the Great and Powerful at some point. Who knows what film we'll cover this time next year when Wicked Part 2 comes out, David.
Oh, God.
Wait a minute, what's this?
What is that?
It's a big box, mate. It's a letters boxed. A box of letters.
Oh, I see where we're going.
That's right, David. It's time for Eye on Springfield.
Yeah.
This is a segment in the show where I pick a few reviews of the film we're talking about from Letterboxd, and I steal them.
Good.
It's other people's comedy
Yes.
that we take and make our own by reading them on our podcast and not changing them in the slightest. Wes writes 5 stars.
Okay.
A Kansas horse girl unlearns her homophobia with the help of 3 gay cosplayers as she goes on a killing spree to stop Ann Coulter from kidnapping her dog. And then in brackets, this movie tenderized me and I'm in love with life again. James Schaefer-Ellis gives it 4.5 stars.
Okay. Specific.
Yeah, it was good, but it's no Phineas and Ferb Season 2, Episode 56, The Wizard of Oz. And lastly, only 3 this time. Gal Pacino.
Yeah.
4.5 stars. My gal pals and I were absolutely hooting and hollering whenever the hot Scarecrow came on screen to do a silly dance and fall down. We decided Scarecrow is a lanky, sensitive DIY boy who stands in front of you at your roommate's friend's house show. And at first you're annoyed, but then he notices he's blocking your view and he apologises so much, maybe even too much. And after the show, you joke around with him and laugh when he trips over his own dirty Converse laces. And suddenly it's 2 a.m. and you're heading home, and you think you're going to miss him most of all.
I think that last one's maybe in love with the Scarecrow.
Nah. Tin Man fan.
Yeah, you know what? I could see her getting pounded by the lion.
Oh my god.
Cut that, obviously.
Keep that in. That's the end of this week's Letters in a Boxed.
Very good.
What was your point you were making before I went into Letters in a Boxed?
Yeah, before we get distracted there.
Well, this giant box full of 3 Letterboxd reviews
Just fucking landed on your desk.
Aye, slammed into my microphone and killed me.
What I was getting at there was the fact that they've got horse and carriage at both ends of the journey.
Yeah.
Why the friggin' hell did she have to walk down the yellow brick road? It's a brick road. Other than when they're in the poppy field, it's a yellow brick road the entire way.
And bear in mind, the poppy field shouldn't be there.
Exactly. It was
The witch-
magically put in place.
And the witch conjures it up.
Yeah. So otherwise, it is just a yellow brick road the entire way there.
Do you think
You could just carriage it the whole way.
Do you think it's a Lord of the Rings Eagles situation?
I wouldn't like to compare The Wizard of Oz and The Lord of the Rings in any way, shape or form.
What do you mean? Explain yourself.
I like The Lord of the Rings too much.
What are you talking about over there?
Dupe it to the Wizard of Oz.
What? They're both classic stories. They're both classic books adapted into film.
Some better than others.
Classic films, iconic characters, a journey. There's a group of unlikely heroes who don't really fit together, but who learn to love each other. I'm telling you,
I think
Star
it took-
Wars,
I think
Lord
it-
of the Rings, and
I
Wizard of
think
Oz
it
are the same
took-
film.
A grand total of about 4 on-screen seconds for the Tin Man to fall in love with everyone there, and less for the lion. I think the longest actually was the lion,
What's a shorter
and that
film?
was after he got flicked in the fucking nose.
Are you telling me you don't like this film?
I'm saying that I much prefer The Lord of the Rings.
I didn't say I didn't prefer The Lord of the Rings. You're acting like I'm talking. You're acting over there like I'm comparing Joker 2019 to The Fellowship of the Ring.
God, no. I would. There would be a mass murder spree.
David, it's time for a rigatoni ranking.
I forgot we called it that.
So did I until just now. This is the part where we tell you where this film fits in.
Oh, God.
Last time when we did Gladiator, can't even get the words out. We did our Gladiator episode. We ranked the first 5 films that we'd covered.
We did indeed.
And we're now going to tell you where The Wizard of Oz
fits into our ranking, which was the same between us. No, it wasn't.
It was slightly different.
Number 1
Yeah.
and number 2 were inverted.
My number 1 was Beetlejuice. Your number 1 was Gladiator.
Somehow.
My number 2 was Gladiator. Your number 2 was Beetlejuice. And then 3, 4, and 5 were the same.
Yeah.
Terrifier, Alien vs. Predator,
And then,
Joker 2019.
which will never move from the bottom spot.
Oh, I don't know. I said, I don't know. Something could go below. We could cover some shit.
True. Joker 2.
Never. Not unless they make Joker 3.
Oh, even then we'll find something else to watch.
David, The Wizard of Oz,
Mm-hmm.
in my ranking, falls into 2nd place.
Ooh.
It is below only Beetlejuice and above Gladiator.
What?
I think this is one of the most magical cinematic experiences you could have. I think it perfectly captures the magic of cinema. I was spellbound by most of it. I love all the characters. I love the
Most
technicolour. Even fucking Glinda. I'll say it. No, not really. Or the Munchkins. But I love the witch.
Mm.
I really love that witch.
Yeah.
I have a bit more to say about the witch after we do this.
Yeah. The ranking.
So David, hit me with your rigatoni ranking. I can tell you were offended by mine.
I wasn't offended as such, but you did knock my number 1 spot choice down to 3rd. For me, I think The Wizard of Oz, I think it's going to land itself into 3rd spot.
That's fair enough. So it's above Terrifier
Yes.
and below.
Beetlejuice and Gladiator in number 1 still.
Right, okay.
Gladiator, Beetlejuice, Wizard of Oz, Terrifier, AVP, the other one.
Joker.
No one cares. I don't care. Wacky doesn't care either, I'm sure.
Waka waka.
He's doing it for the money.
No, he's not. He was still committed, David. He climbed into a fridge.
He was.
He climbed into a fridge.
And what he needs is to be committed.
He climbed into a fridge, didn't you see? He climbed into a fridge.
He's not committed.
He's such a meta actor that he really shot Robert De Niro. He's dead.
No, you know what? I would not want that.
You reject my bit.
I reject your bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Robert De Niro does not deserve that.
David, let's talk about Margaret Hamilton.
Let's.
Who played the witch in this film magnificently.
Both witches. Well, two of the 4 witches, and also the woman in Kansas.
Yeah, I want to make a special mention that this character obviously inspired in the film Gremlins.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Deagle.
Yeah. Polly Holiday.
Mrs. Deagle was obviously based on...
Yeah, aye.
Probably less the Wicked Witch and more the character she plays at the beginning of the film.
Yeah, the one in Kansas.
She gets a similar theme, and obviously she gets shot through the air and her legs are sticking out when she dies.
Yeah.
Certain things. To the point where at one point I actually thought that Margaret Hamilton played Mrs. Deagle in this film.
All right.
In the film Gremlins. Obviously not the case.
Yeah.
But she did reprise her role in a 1976 episode of Sesame Street.
All right.
She appeared as the Wicked Witch who had lost her broom and became stranded in Sesame Street.
Right, yeah.
It was part of a kind of a campaign that she did at the time to educate kids about the witch and,
Right.
and try and separate, I think, herself from the witch and be like, I am not a scary person, because for decades, children had been
Afraid of her.
terrified of her, and apparently a very lovely woman who had kids of her own.
Yeah. Wasn't it that Dorothy, mine's gone.
Judy Garland.
Thank you. Judy Garland, wasn't it largely that she actually had trouble pretending or acting to be afraid of the Wicked Witch
Yeah.
in the scenes that they were in together, because Margaret Hamilton was such a friendly and nice person
Yeah, that's
off
true,
camera.
David, that is correct.
See, I occasionally do a wee bit of research.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, this plan that she had sort of backfired. She also used to go around schools and everything and
Mm-hmm.
do the Wicked Witch laugh and talk to kids about the character and making the film and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
This kind of backfired her appearance on Sesame Street.
Oh, right, okay.
The show received a lot of complaints about children being terrified of the character, to the point where the episode was banned after only
What?
airing on TV once. It became lost media
Fucking hell.
until it was screened once more in 2019.
Jesus.
Parts of it, I think maybe even the entire thing has since surfaced online, and you can find it now. But it's,
Bloody hell.
it was gone for a long time. Around about the same time, let's say either just like the year before or the year after, she also appeared on Mr. Rogers
Right, yeah, yeah.
in her normal person
Mm-hmm.
clothes, and then eventually donned the outfit without the makeup in that as well. Again, to try and show kids that they have to be afraid of her,
Yeah.
and that the witch was just fictional.
Yeah, yeah. I don't ever remember actually being afraid of the witch.
I think I must have been when I was like very small.
Yeah.
When I first saw the film, I'd have been tiny.
I mean, I think, if I remember correctly, to be fair, I'd probably be better off asking family members. This might be that far away, that far ago. But I'm pretty certain that the monkeys freaked me out more than the witch.
I remember the monkeys looking better than they do.
Oh, I definitely remember that. But then again, I also remember there's a lot of CGI and things in movies that were like a long time ago.
Oh, right.
I remember being a hell of a lot better.
I thought you were going to start talking about the CGI in this, and I was like, this is 1939.
No.
There ain't no fucking CGI.
Also, things like
You see a man lit on fire, he's really dying.
he's really on
bubbling.
fire. No, I was meaning like, you know, it's a typical thing like SNES games. You were like, oh, it's good graphics.
I have a tangent about this.
All right, okay.
People talk about how games on the NES, the SNES, up until about the PS1 look bad. It's because you're viewing them on a flat screen. Those games are designed to be viewed on an old bubble screen TV
Yeah.
from back in the day. Because when you view them on TVs like that, it blurs it slightly.
Yeah.
So the pixels form an image. The
Yeah.
polygons form a clearer image. They're not sharp like they are on HD on when you're running it on an emulator or looking at it on a laptop screen.
Cathode ray tube. CRT.
That's a
TVs.
CRT. You might be looking at it on a CRT monitor, which is what those old TVs are called.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my rant over.
Yeah. I actually really like a good old CRT TV.
If I had the space, I would definitely have one just for using old consoles with it. And
Yeah.
oh,
Aye. Also, I mean, they just usually don't quit.
yeah, they're usually non-stop.
Yeah, they will live for a very long time if you look after it.
Aye.
Whereas like LED and LCD, they have a lifespan, they will die.
David, do you have any final thoughts about The Wizard of Oz?
Despite how it may or may not come across in this episode of the podcast, I do really like this film. I do have a lot of affection for this film
Yeah.
because of the nostalgia, and it was a film I watched quite a lot. I mentioned earlier in the podcast. that I watched this a lot as a kid. This and its sequel, I watched the Return to Oz quite a bit.
I've never
as well.
seen Return to Oz.
We'll watch that someday.
I've never seen The Tin Man with Zooey Deschanel. I've never seen Wicked.
I've never seen Wicked.
I mean, it's in the cinemas now.
I mean, I've never
Or
seen the play
musical.
either, or the musical.
I've never seen Oz the Great and Powerful.
I've never seen that.
I've never seen any of the animated films.
I feel like I might have.
Oh, man, probably.
I feel like I might have seen it, but if so, once, perhaps.
I haven't seen the made-for-TV 1990s film that I'm sure exists.
Yeah, there was a lot of made-for-TV ones then.
I've seen Alice in Wonderland,
Yeah,
made-for-TV in the 90s.
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, so I have a lot of love for this film, and quite frankly, it lost a lot of its magic.
Oh,
For me,
really?
learning of not just now but in general over the years as an older individual, learning of the horrors of Oz, if you will.
I will. I coined that term. I think I've come full circle.
Right.
I've gotten to the point where you're at now, where I was like, oh man, it's really lost its magic.
Mm-hmm.
When you think of all the horrible things that happened, I think now I've come to the point where I can put all that out of my mind and appreciate the film for what it is and for the efforts that went into it, and become spellbound again, wrapped up in the magic of cinema.
Right. Yeah. I don't think I've gotten to that point yet. I think I will probably one day. I don't think it's today.
Let's watch the film again and see.
Well, let's find out. I'll give it 6 months and we'll watch it again.
Oh,
Or maybe a few months.
We'll be busy in 6 months. We're doing more Movie House.
Yeah, but we can squeeze a Wizard of Oz showing in there.
That was something I didn't get a chance to ask you.
All right.
What did you think of seeing this film in 4K for the first time?
I think it was a good bit different from what I remember. Like, there was definitely a lot of differences.
Yeah.
I think what would probably have, in hindsight, been beneficial, considering it's maybe the second 4K film viewing I've ever seen.
You watched Gladiator in 4K.
Yeah. Because of that, I think it might have been a beneficial comparison would be to have watched it on maybe like VHS if we could have found it.
Aye, I'm sure.
And then side by side or back to back if we had the time.
Yeah.
To watch it 4K. I think that would have been a really interesting thing to do.
There's another
source a CRT monitor and watch it on VHS.
There's another film. I'm not going to talk about it right now because we might talk about that film at some point in the future. It's not on the rota or it's not on the schedule or anything.
Yeah.
But there's a thing I have to say about that particular idea in regards to one special film.
Oh. Okay. We'll get to that then.
Aye.
Sounds good. This has been Movie House. I'm your host, David, and with me, as always, was my co-host, Connor.
And I am a friend of Dorothy. I was in the book, that's a saying. Friend of Dorothy means you're gay.
Yeah. I'm aware.
That's the bit I'm doing. Like I'm unintentionally saying that. The bit is that I don't know what it means. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I know what you're getting.
I've been Connor, and I'm still trapped in this conversation.
I can tell.
David, next week we're covering
Boyzone?
Yes, we're covering the career of Boyzone.
Good. On Movie House.
We're watching a Boyzone concert documentary. Boys in the Zone. Fly, you fools. What film is that from, David? What are we watching next time?
Did you say Fly, you fools?
Yes.
Fly.
Yes.
What?
Flying monkeys, David. We're doing the Wizard of Oz again. No, David. Imagine, if you will, if I put on a one ring on my finger and suddenly I was invisible, and also I could see a giant Lord of the Rings.
That would be it. The Lord of the Rings, perchance.
Yeah, we're doing the Lord of the Rings. Isn't that exciting, David?
It is very exciting. Which one are we doing? Are we doing all three?
There's 3 animated films.
I was talking about the live action ones.
The what?
Viggo Mortensen?
The fuck is the guy from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation?
No.
Yeah, no, that's what he's from.
No,
He was in Witness with Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Why would he be in he wasn't in Lord of the Rings. He wasn't acting in the late 70s. There's only 3 Lord of the Rings films. It's the trilogy.
Yeah.
It's The Hobbit from 1977. It's The Lord of the Rings from 1978. And it's Return of the King from 1980. We're doing Lord of the Rings.
What fucking time stream have I warped into here?
They were gonna
the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the Hobbit fucking trilogy doesn't exist.
How can you make a trilogy out of The Hobbit? It's just one small book.
Yeah, I'm aware. Don't even get me started on that.
They never made a live action Lord of the Rings films. The Beatles were going to be in it, but they dropped out. Remember, they were going to play the Hobbits. John Lennon was going to play Sam, and Paul McCartney was going to play Frodo.
And Ringo Starr was just going to be...
Yeah, I think he was going to be Perry.
Gimli.
He's going to be Peregrine Took. And George Harrison was going to be Merry. We're doing the Lord of the Rings 1978 animated classic, because there's a Lord of the Rings animated film in cinema, and we're looking to ride that algorithmic express. You're blinking at me like that for.
I don't know.
By the way, we covered The Wizard of Oz this week to ride the algorithmic express for Wicked. I don't think I said that at the start.
Yeah.
So that's why we did it.
Yeah.
Check us out on Instagram at Movie House Podcast. You can also check out our other podcast, Insert Brain Here, a Simpsons podcast.
I'm glad the quality of the audio went right downhill as soon as you started talking about Insert Brain Here.
Check us out on YouTube at T422 Productions, where you'll find these episodes as YouTube videos and also Insert Brain Here as YouTube videos. Maybe a bunch of other shit as well. Maybe I'll put other stuff up there. Maybe I'll spread my ass cheeks.
That's for the Patreon only.
For the
OnlyFans.
Oh, it's the same 3 jokes with us, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Check us out. Check out Insert Brain Here's website, insertbrainhere.podcastpage.io. Yep. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at T422.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye. Good luck. Good Oz.
Ooh.
Tap your shoes twice and get good luck. Tap your shoes twice and sign up for 100 free spins at 365betcasino.com.
If only we were getting a sponsorship. If only.
Bye. Ta.
Ta. See you.
Tatty bye.
Alright. Fuck off. It's finished. It's done.
T422 Productions, honey boy.